Insomniac and welcome to my channel. It's Sunday the 18th of September. Sorry I haven't done a video in a couple or a few weeks. I can't even remember how long ago it was. Hoping a couple, not much longer, I don't know. Just been absolutely exhausted. I think it's not just like a physical condition or whatever, all these things I'm being investigated for. I think the bipolar is playing a part in it as well now. Like obviously if you're running on full steam for months and months, and I was from, when was that? Sort of October, November time last year, 2021, right through until I believe June is when, like mid-June is when I began to feel the crash a little bit. And then since then it's just basically, from then I think there was like 8 weeks where I barely did a thing. And then I had a few energized days, maybe a week or so, and then a crash, and then just basically a couple of days of being up, which was probably when I did the last video. Maybe that was a video before. Whichever day I did the one video and then the Prometheus one after, then that was hypomania playing a part. And then since then I've just basically, energy's just been completely depleted, so haven't actually been up to very much. I was meant to get back to you all about the blood results to do with the intrinsic factor. I remember the doctor was taking forever with the results. They'd sat on them for over a week, closer to 2, before I got the results. And yeah, what it ended up being, they ended up not doing the test because it hadn't been paired with the active B12 or something like that, or you know, the B12 seemed normal even though it was basically borderline, so they didn't do the test. So that was a little bit infuriating because I think, what was it? I think it was about 320 or something. I'm just going to double check the B12. Oh God, I can't even find it. So the B12 was 363 when it's meant to be between 189 and 833. So the lower end of normal, I think up to 320 is sort of borderline. So I mean, I'm only just outside borderline, still low, and that's total B12, not active, so it's the active one I want. So I ended up calling my GP, and you know, it's like, well, can I please have the active B12, because I explained, you know, this is a full B12, blah blah blah, and they were like, no, basically, no, so I asked the receptionist, and the receptionist, she's like, yeah, I'll book the appointment, telephone consultation, and literally, like, within minutes, they've called back, and they're like, yeah, GP says no, she's not going to do the test, she feels she's done enough testing, that's it, basically. So I was like, oh, I was a bit taken aback, and I kind of sat on it for about 20 minutes, and I was like, wait, well then what am I supposed to do? Like, what happens? Because I'm symptomatic and nobody knows what's wrong, so therefore I can't get better. It can't just be left up in the air like this. Like they must do something, that they can't leave people like that. And so I called the surgery back and I said, what was it? I was like, look, I've just spoken to the receptionist, blah, 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 this has happened. I'd like a telephone consultation, please, with my GP. just to discuss where we go from here, because obviously I'm symptomatic. I can't go on like this. I've got no quality of life. Like, I need to know the next steps. Sorry. So yeah, anyway, she said, yeah, okay, GP will give you a call before 11. GP called. She's let me speak. Just listened the whole time. And I've just explained all that I've just said now. She was asking, what symptoms? And I was like, well, the symptoms I've been coming back and forward to the doctors with for more than 10 years. Like, so what are the most, like, pressing symptoms? So me, stupidly, I thought, well, I'll let her know the constant symptoms, the symptoms that started first, like the thirst and the tiredness and the this and the that and the pins and the needles and all that. And then she said all of the, and the worsening of the IBS as well, I mentioned, that there was only those ones I mentioned. And she said, you know, all of those symptoms do actually fit in with a diagnosis of anxiety, and I know you have mental health problems and you suffer from anxiety. Oh! Seriously, at the time of the phone conversation, I wanted to, like, just smash my head through a wall. Like, seriously, like, nobody's bloody listening. Like, that's the thing. If you've got a mental health diagnosis, any of you will know, if you've ever been diagnosed with anxiety, if you've ever been diagnosed with depression, it's worse if you actually have a label like schizophrenia or bipolar, because then everything is put down to anxiety, bipolar, mental health. And I said, look, I appreciate what you're saying, and yes, I know that some of the symptoms that I've said you can have with anxiety, but I have a lot of physical symptoms, like a lot, like literally, like so many, like the joint pain and everything as well. I've never known, actually, no, yeah, pain can be linked to depression and anxiety. Well, still, it's more like if this proves it isn't just anxiety, even though anxiety can be debilitating in a lot of cases. If I'm putting on cream or if I'm putting on foundation, doesn't take me more than 4 minutes. In that time, those 4 minutes that I've been rubbing it all on and everything, working it into the skin, my fingers are almost crippled. They like seize up like that, and they're really painful. So that's not anxiety. Like, that's a physical problem. IBS, yes, can be worsened by stress, but I don't think it's caused by stress. Like, what I was trying to explain to her is that some of the physical symptoms that I have, I've had long before a diagnosis of anxiety or bipolar. So the symptoms started before the diagnosis is what I'm trying to say. I don't think, although the tiredness and fatigue, all of that sort of stuff, yeah, is sometimes related to my mood. Obviously, at the moment, I'm in a depressive state, so yes, my mood will be lower, my energy levels will be lower, but when I was manic, even though my brain was awake and like talking all the time, it felt tired. It was a tired mania. I cannot explain it. I'd never been through any kind of mania like that in my life. And it was mania, wasn't hypermania. I know the difference. And I was just basically, if I wasn't medicated, it would have gone into psychosis. I was that close. It was just the fact that the medication prevented that, but I felt very close to how I'd felt before psychosis is about to take hold. So, and again, I had a lot of insight when I'm even hypermanic, not even manic, even hypermanic, I wouldn't ordinarily notice that. But I noticed it happening. Not as quickly as my partner noticed, but I did notice, and I took notice, whereas previously what would happen is I'd become hypermanic. It would always start off hypermania, then go into mania, then mixed, and then I wouldn't listen. I'd think, oh, everyone's trying to burst my bubble. Nobody wants to see me happy. Nobody could be pleased for me. Everybody wants me depressed. And I wouldn't listen to reason. There was no reasoning with me. Being either hypermanic and definitely not manic, yet this time round I could be reasoned with most of the time. It's just weird. Oh gosh, I wish if anybody is watching this and you actually have bipolar and you've had an episode similar, like this last episode that I'm talking about, where it's like a muted mania. Anybody ever experienced anything like that, please do let me know, and let me know what it's called. Like, what causes that? Is it if you've got a physical illness, it tones it down some, but yet you're still very talkative and energetic, but yet your body's tired? It's weird. It's like your brain's energized and tired at the same time. How can they be two opposites? I don't understand how you can experience both at the exact same time. And then also the going from mania, depression, like 10 to 15 times a day, back, forth, back, forth, back, forth. Jesus, it was so exhausting. Like, I do think that what set that off was Dexter, him being ill. I've never, ever, no, tell a lie, have lost a pet once before, a cat. When I was a teenager, I was actually pregnant with my daughter at the time, my firstborn. But I'd left home, maybe 6 months before, 8 months before. And then like my stepdad's called me. He's like, oh, we've had to put him to sleep. He's got cancer, blah, blah, blah. So that, oh God, I was in bits over that. But literally just for a few weeks, And then it was like every once in a while I think, oh, I miss him. Like that. That's all it was. With Dexter, it hit me like a ton of bricks. Like it was like being hit by a truck with emotion. Never have I ever felt anything like that in my life. And I think what it was as well, I didn't grieve properly for my mum when she passed. Just because I was just in such shock. I don't know why I didn't grieve properly at all. It was more like the way I said about my first cat, like that. A couple of weeks of upsetness and then the occasional, oh, I wish I could call mum about that, but no real, no like strong emotions. And then I think when what happened to Dexter happened, I've had him since he was like, I first saw him when he was 4 weeks old, and I took him in at 7 weeks or something. Had him all that time, and he was I can't even remember, was he 13? Coming up to 13? Coming up to, yeah, he was 12 and a half. That's a long time to love and nurture and take care of. Some people don't even have a friend that long in life, and it felt to me like losing a very, very close family member. It's heartbreaking. But yeah, so, and then obviously when he was ill, I knew he was going to go. I knew he wouldn't survive, and my brain's trying to tell me, no, he'll be okay. It's a bad patch. He'll pull through. He's strong. you know, and then my mind's battling like that back and forth, and then obviously he died and everything, and it just sent me like straight into mania. Like I was hypermanic when he was ill, and I went straight into mania when a mixed episode or rapid cycling, whatever it is. I'm not sure if it was mixed or rapid cycling. I'm actually going to have to check out the definition because it's annoying me that I don't know which it was. And yeah, and then I was like that right through to June. So what is that? That's like, say, October, November, December, January, February, March, April, May, June. 8 months. 8 months. Mostly manic, you know, with just some depressive bits here and there. It's a long time. So yeah, of course, I'm going to be physically tired. Like, that's a long time to be running. Very long time. But yeah, so, oh yeah, that's what I was going to say. So yeah, so I understand that it can be linked, like mental health, body. I do understand that, yeah. But what I was trying to explain to her was what? I think I've said this bit. Yeah, I was trying to explain that to her. Oh, that's it. And then she said, you know, well, what do you want me to do? What would you like me to do? Because I become exasperated when she said about sort of the anxiety bit. And I was like, it's not in my head, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, what would you like me to do, Samantha? I was like, I don't know, you're the doctor. Like, I can't tell you how to do your job. All I can say is that I'm symptomatic. My symptoms are worsening. And like I just want to get better. She's like, well, what? I said, you know, ideally I'd like to get to the root of the problem, take a medication and start to feel better. And she said, well, I've referred you on to endocrinology, I've referred you on to cardiology, I've given you every blood test that you've asked for. And I was like, you're right, you have, and I appreciate all that you've done. Like, you've done more than any other GP that I've had in the past. Like, I feel you understand. And she was saying, but there are limitations, you know. She was saying, unless my symptoms are more specific, I can't be referred on to anything else. Like, the fatigue and everything, that's like basic with every single illness, every illness. So she said, unless there's some more specific things. But the thing is, like I said, the hand thing, yeah, like, but, and like the pins and needles, but the thing is, I have gone into the doctor's surgery near the beginning actually with a list. Now this list had maybe 20 or 30 symptoms on it that I experience all the time. And I tried to ask her to look at it that time. And she was like, oh no, it's not my job to read through all of that. Just tell me the ones that are bothering you. Well, so that again, I mentioned the few that I mentioned before. And that's when she was doing the tests for like diabetes and thyroid and stuff like that, which you would do as a first thing. But, so we did those. So we did those tests. I can't think. Yeah, so she did all of those, and then it's like, I'm so sorry, I've lost my train of thought. Yeah, that's it. So, but the thing is that I never said at the time, was all of those 30 odd symptoms are pressing. All of them are bothering me all as much as one another. But it's not her job to look at them all. So that's all I want. I just want someone to read it all. And I said that to her. I said, isn't there someone I could be referred to, like, that can read through all of the symptoms and then weigh up what it could be, what it couldn't be, like that kind of a thing. I'd like if there's that kind of a person I'd like to be referred on to somebody like that. And she said, there isn't anybody like that. There really isn't. The endocrinologist kind of did that. She looked at all the symptoms. But even she thought a lot of them were very specific. I did mention to my GP, I did say, well, if we cannot find anything physical and cardiology comes back okay, could it not be something like fibromyalgia? And she said, what good, how would, no, not what, how good, how would having a diagnosis of something like fibromyalgia help? How would it help? What would it change? Like, yeah, she has got a point. I was like, well, because we're human and humans are curious and need to know, like, get to the bottom of things. So if I did have fibromyalgia and I was diagnosed with it, well, then I could look into what I should be eating, what I should be doing, how I can get better. And I said, and anyway, I said, if I were diagnosed, then surely there's a specialist and they could guide you about all that sort of stuff as well. She's like, no, literally what the fibromyalgia people do, whoever's in, I don't know what the specialists are called with it, but all they do is they literally say, yes, you have it, no, you don't, on your way. That's it. You don't get given any kind of advice, no kind of follow-up, no kind of plan. How will that benefit? So I just basically said, I don't know what to do. I don't know what you want me to say. I don't know what to do. All I know is I'm in my 30s. I should not be feeling this rough. I've felt this bad since my 20s. I can't go through the rest of my life feeling this way. Like, my quality of life is poor. And it's full of pain and fatigue. Like, I shouldn't be going through this at my age. I should be going through this at worst in like my 70s or something, like not in my 20s and 30s. Those are meant to be the most energetic, best years of your life, Oh well. But anyhow, she was good in what she was saying. I understand what she was doing. She was trying to get me to rationalize things. And she did say she was pushing more the anxiety angle, but she did also say, try to focus on other things, do other things, like away from health, so that, I think she knows I've been obsessing a bit about it, but I do every time I get really sick, I obsess about it. I think she thinks it's part of my bipolar. She's waiting for this episode to run its course, and she said, she just said, think of other things for a little while, focus on other things, and then if in a month or so you're still symptomatic, having not been investigating this and doing those sorts of things, if I'm still as symptomatic or more symptomatic, get back in contact in a month, 6 weeks. So yeah, that's where we left it. I think she did deal with it well, because she dealt with it in a way, I mean, I took it at first like, she's telling me it's all in my head, oh my god, blah blah blah, but I think she understood that I'm going through something, and she's waiting for the episode to pass, because obviously with bipolar everything's sort of, what's the word, cyclic? It goes in cycles, doesn't it? So I think she knows that. She's waiting for the cycle to pass, and then she'll be happy to talk. But I do hope, knowing what she knows now, that she'll look at that bit of paper with the symptoms, and actually just have a little read through it, and like just think, actually that and that does kind of line up with this diagnosis. I may refer her to neurology, rheumatoidology, I don't know all these words, rheumatologist, like fibromyalgia clinic, you know. It's just so tiring. It really is. It's absolutely exhausting, and I haven't been as obsessive about it all in the last few weeks. I have taken a leaf out of her book. I haven't been hyper focused on it, on health. I mean, I did do that thing, that Prometheus thing, had a look through that, but nah. Again, not being funny, everything like with that site, it goes up to, I think, a magnitude of 6, which is like, oh, this could really affect you. Most of the things with magnitudes, this is what was confusing about it, it would say that I'm at a higher chance of this and a higher chance of that, and like I've got the BRCA1 and BRCA2 genes, but that it had a magnitude of 2. Now that doesn't fit, because if I did have those, then like those genetic mutations, that would not be a magnitude of 2, where it would barely affect or only possibly affect. That would be like what, at least 40 to 80% chance of getting a particular type of cancer. That's not on magnitude 2, that's a 5 or 6 for sure. So there were some inconsistencies there, and so because of that, I joined another one called Genomap. It's like a you download your raw data to it. It's on an app on your phone, and that one actually came up with the BRCA1 and 2 as well. Also came up with like the, is it familial? Like meaning it runs in the family. Just increased chance of any kind of cancer as well. I was like, oh great. But that one doesn't come with magnitudes. I'm leaving that for the moment. I think I'm not going to focus on anything like that. Like I said, if it says magnitude 2, it doesn't really affect me. Just obviously, if I did find a lump or have certain symptoms, it'd be like, right, yeah, well, I'll get to the doctor. I'll let them know that I'd got this information, but that I don't know if it holds any weight, just in case, you know. But I'm not going to dwell on any of it. Sorry, I really needed that. It's got an electrolyte drink, so I just have it it depends, no more than twice a week. I try to have it once a week. Some weeks I do forget, but like just to make sure I have got enough electrolytes in my system, because obviously if you're dehydrated, you're going to feel tired. But the thing is, I have sometimes the opposite. Well, the thing is, I have the symptoms of dehydration, but like my body says I'm dehydrated, but a few times I've actually overhydrated, and that's so painful. It really is so painful, because like you get this banging awful migraine, you feel like you're going to throw up. This goes on for hours, until obviously some of the water sort of like goes like through peeing or whatever, and you literally can't drink anything. Like what I do, I literally won't drink anything for about 3-4 hours, and then it subsides, and I think, oh, got to be careful, just like one more bottle of water to last the whole rest of the day now, like that's all I can have. But I do actually have to log what I drink, because otherwise that happens, I get overhydrated. So I try to keep it below 3.2 litres a day, what I drink. Do try to stick to around 2.5 litres. But I mean, say if it's sort of like been 4 or 5 p.m. and I've drunk 2.5 litres, I can't then go right through to 10 o'clock at night, all those hours without anything to drink. Like, it's impossible. So then I just limit it, and try and stick to a bottle instead, because then I'm not like drinking a whole like 250 mils in one go, like in a like cup of tea or whatever. Oh gosh, I can't even remember what else I was supposed to discuss today. Oh, and just very quickly before I go, actually, I should have had, I think, the cardiology results. Not results, the cardiology appointment. I can't even remember when that was for. I'm just going to look here to see if this might say it. No, that's that one. I need to actually check on that. I don't even know. But cardiology called me, when was it? Last week? To say, sorry, to say that they have to cancel the appointment because people are sick or going to be sick or something. I was like, oh, that's handy that they know that a week in advance. Wow, efficient. But that's been pushed to, it's been pushed to October. For God's sake. Has it been pushed to October? I think it has. I'm just checking my phone just to see. So it'll be blue, won't it? What's on blue? No. Oh, endocrinology. I don't know if they will actually call me on the 13th of October or not. I'm not sure. I might have that. Oh, cardiology. There we go. 19th of October it will be now at 10:40 in the morning. So, yeah. A few weeks off yet. Well, just a little over a month, actually. Yeah. Thing just takes so long. Right. I am going to... It's nearly noon. Might have something to eat. I'm not sure. And then my daughter's got something on later, so we'll have to have dinner early, I think. Yeah, well, so I'm a bit nervous to try the dinner tonight, actually, to be completely honest, because it's like a chowder or something, I think it's called. It's just very, very strange. I don't like the idea of mixing meat and fish. Like, that's a bit of a weird one for me, and I don't like the idea, because chowder's basically like a soup with big bits in it, isn't it, really? Like, or stew, fish stew, is that what it's? Probably a fish stew. Yeah, I don't know, the idea kind of freaks me out a little bit. I might give a little bit a try. It's like it's got like salmon, salmon. It's like cooking bacon, which I think is just basically boiled bacon. I'm not sure what the difference is. Potatoes and veg, and in some kind of stock. Seems very strange. I don't know. Might be able to try a little bit. I've actually been having anxiety thinking about this meal for about a week now. It's like the first meal where it's actually like scaring me a little bit, like the thought of trying it, and I haven't been like that with food for a little while. I've been a lot better at trying things, but this is just, it's too much weirdness going on at once. It's not like one extra ingredient that I'm not sure on, you know, but like it's the whole combination together is like, it's freaking me out a little bit. So I don't know, I'll let you know how I get on with that anyway. What day? We're on Sunday today. I don't think I'm gonna do a video as early as Tuesday. Simply because there won't be any appointments or anything. what I might do is I might come back, not Tuesday coming, the Tuesday after, just for a little catch up, even if I haven't got any appointments going or whatever. Just sort of, yeah, just tune in and let everybody know how I'm getting on. And I do thank you for your support. I just saw when I was my watch went off, and I got a message from one of my viewers, so I'm going to reply to that. And yeah, I think I am actually going to try and catch a nap as well afterwards, because I'm just like, yeah, forget the food, I'm just going to have a nap. I'm exhausted. Yeah. Well, take care, everybody. If you like my content, please like, subscribe and comment. Can't even remember how to say anything anymore. Please like, comment and subscribe. And hit the notification bell if you'd like to be notified of any future videos that I make. Once again, I'm sorry I'm not in like the most charming or happiest, bubbly of moods. It just goes with the bipolar, I'm afraid. You it's sort of like a seesaw. You're up and down like all the time, so that's crazy. That's the thing. There was actually a lady, I can't remember if I spoke to you about it before, but there's a lady, she was actually like, she was talking about something. I was like, oh, my brain can't do anything like that. She was like, well, why not? Like, you're young. I was like, bipolar. And she was like kind of like romanticizing it so much, like, oh, bipolar people, they're so creative and passionate and this. And I was like, I'm not an Italian. Like, it's a mental health condition, and like, yeah, there may be moments of that, but actually it's a very destructive, damaging, depressing, negative thing. Like, you only have moments of clarity and moments of like creativity and things like that. You're not like that all the time. It's not like, let's say for example, people say with autism, you can have like I forget what they call it. So let's say you might be talented in this field or that field, and like, but then not everybody with autism has those creative things, and then it's actually damaging to go around saying, oh, you're autistic, well, what's your thing that you're excellent at? And the person can't turn around and say, well, actually, I don't have like an actual flair in a specific field. And people are like, oh, but you're supposed to, like, you've got autism, you're supposed to. I feel like people are a bit like that with bipolar. They're like, oh yeah, but you're meant to be like this and you're meant to be like that. It's like, yeah, that's not how it works. Like, although there's a diagnostic criteria for things, bipolar and autism are actually similar in the sense that they're spectrums, in a sense. Like, you could say, for example, my father, he is always hypermanic. He's always on the go. It never interferes with his life in a negative way, like a negative impact. Yeah, he'll take some risks, but he's actually a very lucky person. Like, things always work out for him. Like, I think with him, it's like, he's so full of life and vibrant, and, that he attracts that from the world and gets that back. I don't know. It was just very lucky. But you can't say because somebody, it's like saying somebody with ADHD, it's like saying, oh, you're not particularly talkative for somebody with ADHD. It's like, not everybody with ADHD, rabbits on all the time, every moment. They do have their moments, where they're very quiet and introverted as well. You can be introverted and talkative. I have that. And people can be draining. This video is going on too long. I'm so sorry, I'm waffling on again. Right, I am going to go and catch a nap. And like I said, please like, comment and subscribe and hit the notification bell if you'd like to be notified of any future videos. I really am going to go now before I bore everybody to tears. And I will be back, not Tuesday coming, Tuesday after, which is, I'm no good with maths, so I can't work it all out. So let's have a look. Well, we're not there. We're there. Okay, so there. Not that one, that one. So 27th. I'll try to be here for the 27th. I will set... Wait, do I do Tuesdays or do I do Wednesdays? I think I do Wednesdays. Do you know, I can't even remember anymore. I'll look back through the videos. We'll do a Tuesday. I think Tuesday's a bit easier for me anyway. So it will be the 27th, Tuesday the 27th. That I'll be back, but I am going over and out. Everybody have a wonderful day. And I will see you all soon. Take care for now. Bye.